joining us today. Very special day, and we'll get to that in one moment. Thomas, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Because in your role, head of HR for the Deutsche Post DHL group, I'd like you to help this audience understand the massive size and impact of DHL so they have some context for the comments that we're going to be sharing later.
Sure. So we are 600,000 people around the globe who connect people and improve lives. That's the easy part of it. So whenever you had a chocolate bar this morning, probably it was us somewhere in the warehouse packaging it. If you drive a nice car, it's very likely that the door or some other components were brought just in time to the production lines. If you got your COVID jab in Australia, Japan, Israel, or 100 other countries, it was us who brought it there. So it's really across the globe, very simply connecting people, improving lives, having around 5% of global trade moved by us. That's the headline. If you look at, let's say, in the engine room, and I like what Sint said about the Dallas Mavericks, so we are like a basketball team. We have 5 divisions, all experts. Fats is our power forward. And actually, this is something where we need specialists in what we do, and plus, and that's my role, being a little bit in the background, coaching them that everything is aligned.
Okay. And say something about the people strategy at the DHL group, you know, the vision, the values, and so on.
Yeah. So being in a service industry, you have only one asset. And we heard it over and over here, and I'm preaching to the converted. It's your people. Because it's not our airplanes, it's not our trucks, it's not our warehouses, but it's 600,000 human beings who every day create the big yellow machine. And I say intentionally not employees, but human beings, because when we talk about being a great company to work for all, great place to work for all, then every individual human being, every morning or every evening, when leaving for work, needs to ask the question to him or herself, is DHL a great company to work for me? And that's actually our purpose, our mission, and our strategy, and all that we do in HR to ensure that Nada in Saudi Arabia, Miguel in Spain, whoever is it, all these 600,000 human beings can say every morning, DHL is a great place to work for me.
A few facts. Operate in over 220 countries, even in places that aren't really countries.
Right.
Participated and certified as a great place to work in 85 countries. Listed as the best workplace in 53 countries. Named on the world's best 6 consecutive years. And 2 consecutive years on the Fortune 100 Best Companies to Work For list. And today, #1 on the world's best list. Congratulations. Faz, in your first year, there's only one way to go, that's down. So hang in there. High bar for yourself. Congratulations. And if you can give some people a little bit about your background, how you got into this role and how your previous experiences have prepared you for this role.
Yeah, firstly, Michael, thank you very much for what you do, your organization, and all of the organization and companies here today. I think, you know, when I walk in and I saw that list and a whole lot of company making that difference, making a workplace a great place for all, and it's making that, and I thank all of you for doing it. So, and I was inspired this morning when Julian opened the session. He was like grooving with Britney, and you know what I keep grooving to? Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again, and we did it again, and I'm so proud of, you know, our achievement and success, and I thank everyone for, you know, making that happen. Now, a little bit about me and where I am and where I come from. I'm a Singaporean. I live in Germany for 15 years now. A mom, a wife, and an inclusive leader for all. My background is a little bit on customer service. I spent my background, my work experience with DHL. Very proud to be with DHL for the past 18 years. And in customer service is about customer centricity, putting insanely customer-centric to everything we do. But these are powered by our people. And in the day that we do today, like Thomas mentioned, is our people that are giving that service to our customers. And when I move into HR, for me, it was an area that we are all used to. We are all people leaders, and therefore that expertise, that experience we have to serve our customers equally, we serve our people. And making HR a trusted partner for our business. And that's what it's all about. I mean, we're there for them when we need them. They need us. And they're here for us when we together making that difference. And therefore, I think with that credibility, with me just being me, it is with the business that we do with our teams out there every single day.
I would think, you just being you, number one, but that customer success, customer service background gives you credibility with leaders. They know you understand operations. They know you understand the customer.
That's right.
So you're bringing that perspective to everything HR.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And your workforce never went fully remote.
Sorry?
Your workforce,
Yeah.
your workers, didn't have the option of working through a screen. They had to keep delivering. And we're aware of the remarkable stories, people walking through streams, literally. Ain't No Mountain High Enough, your company's theme song that you all sing in various languages all around the world. Say something about how you did that, created this elite experience. You shouldn't have made the list based on what your people had to do, okay, but you did.
Yeah.
So how'd you make that happen?
So, yeah, what happened was we were all worried, scared, and at the same time, we were filled with pride to make sure that the trade continues, just like our healthcare workers who are out there serving, the people. We were serving e-commerce trade for our customers. So we need to make sure that our people are with us. So we provided PPE, personal protection, so masks, hand gel, and whatever that they need to go out in the road and to perform for our business. And just like they say, wash your hands regularly, but when we are in a van, they don't have water. So we hear it from our field, we hear it from our people, and they say we don't have the water. We say no problem. Let's pick up a canister of water and put in the van, at the back of the van, so they can wash their hands. So looking after them is a critical part. That's one. And second, is when the vaccine was available to the general market, and I think the pride that we have to deliver to the society was just immense. It still today gives me goosebumps to think that, we are connecting people, improving lives. And our team out there was so proud to just deliver that and being a great place to work. And the generations thereafter, it was just immense. Mental health was one of that we really paid a lot of attention, giving our employees the telephone assistance if they need us, talk to us, and we're there for them, and continuously communicate. Being out there in the field is one that, be present. And in the world of COVID, as I read the papers and they say, when in the hybrid world you get into a situation where you only get together for a purpose, rather than for presence. And Michael, to us, our presence is our purpose. Our presence is our purpose to deliver the goods, the medical equipment, whatever that our society needs for a better tomorrow.
Well, thank you for all that you did for the world, kept it spinning. So, as if the pandemic wasn't enough, we have a war in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You do business all around the world. So, just give us some insight into the values at work on how you take care of your customers and how you take care of your employees in something like a war situation.
Yeah. This war, the Russian aggression in Ukraine, is unprecedented over the last 80 years in Europe, and something, being a German and having in my ears the story of my grandfather, my grandmother, how they experienced the Second World War, and we had the illusion that something like this would never happen again in Europe. And now we are just experiencing it in the heart and the center of our continent. And I appreciate that America has a strong stance to protect the freedom of the world. I have a strong belief that Ukraine will win, but that's something where we as a company also need to see, as you said, how can we protect our employees not only in Ukraine, but also in Russia. And we have great colleagues in Russia. I have to say we had great colleagues in Russia because we were forced also to step out of the market. And this is something where, to your point, values are a very integral and important point. So back to our purpose as a company, connecting people, improving lives. We operate in more than 200 countries and territories. We also send shipments to North Korea. We operate in Syria. We operate in some of the worst parts of the world to ensure that there's a little bit of hope, or even if there are embassies or some humanitarian stuff that needs to be delivered, that somebody is there who is in a way like the lighthouse for the free world. Talking about Ukraine, I'm happy that all employees are safe and accounted for. So that's something where we had a lot of solidarity from our Polish team, from our Slovakian team, really taking them, nursing or housing them, supporting them. And now they moved back, and we, in some areas, re-established operations in Ukraine again. And that's great, because it's also something where Ukraine need to keep going beyond just the war that happens there. Looking at Russia is more delicate. As I said, we needed to ramp down the business, but that's also something where our people were super loyal in understanding the necessity that we need to move out, and we know whenever things might change, that they will come back for us and work again for us. So this is something where you need to balance on one hand side business, responsibility towards the world, but also to the people. And I think looking at these two places, we are on a good track of fulfilling this.
Okay. You got your water?
Yeah.
Are you good now?
Must be the coldness.
Okay.
Or the excitement being here.
So can I ask you a question, or do I let you get your throat clear, and are you ready?
Fats is always ready.
Okay. You ready, Faz?
I'm ready to go, all fired up.
All right. That I know. That I know. If you could share with the audience about what we think is what makes you number one. Both your CIM and CIS programs. And I know you're going to do a breakout session later. I don't want to promote one session over the other, but if you want to hear about supervisory training and onboarding employees, highly recommend this one.
Yeah, exactly. So, for all our employees, we have a Certified International Specialist program. It is not only a skills and knowledge, but it also talks a lot about culture, our focus strategy. And Rick Jackson is actually going to talk to us at the focus workshop later on. But it is about equipping our supervisors with the right skills, coaching and training them and developing them to go and, go out there with our people and do the same to them, to the people that we have today. When I talk about Certified International Specialist, it is a program that we don't only call a training program, but it's the culture, our DNA, and how we evolve with our respect and results leadership behavior, what that looks like, what that means, and how do we then embed that in our day-to-day workplace. So that's a little bit about that. So it's a little bit teaser for all of you to join us in the session later on.
And what about the training of supervisors specifically?
Yeah, supervisors are key because they are the interface between management and the people, and they need to translate and understand what it is and go into, to the careers or to our customer service advisors. Supervisors Academy, what we call, it is an 18-month program. Just when you do your master's or your diploma degree, you go through stages, you go out there in the field, and then where they get equipped to the supervisory. And we believe that they are the ones, if you get to them, they are the ones who spread and cultivate the culture that we have today and making this great place to work for all, not just for some, not just for many, but for all of us. So supervisors is key in this success. And they go through that program. At the end of the program, we celebrate them. We celebrate like throwing, and some of us can remember the joy of our celebration when we graduate. But it's not only that graduation that people are super proud of, is they are now ready and equipped to go out there and make that difference.
Okay.
Let me add one more thing to this one, because there are two super crucial professions in the world where you don't get a proper training for. being parents, and being people leaders.
Yeah.
All the rest, you got plenty of training, but these are the two ones, and they are really crucial where we don't have something in place that you learn at school, at university, or elsewhere in the college. So talking about those supervisors who step up usually from being just a coworker, a frontline fellow, and having the first time a career as a manager. And I experienced this by myself because I started 21 years ago as an intern, and that was tough, moving from being just one of many into a team lead of 4 people. And I think this old wisdom of people join companies, but they leave leaders is very true. And we have some 35,000 leaders across the globe being supervisors, being higher up in the ranks. And exactly what Fats described is so important. It's not a one-time training. It's not like you do the 2 hours online course and then you are done. You're like pimped to be a leader, but it's a journey. And this journey takes 18 months, and it is a mixture of management skills, like reading the numbers, interpreting the stats, doing all that stuff. But it's even more important to teach people about leadership, to teach people about what some of us might have experienced yesterday. What is empathy? What is trust? How do I have a difficult conversation? Because if you don't enable people, and these are skills, that's not art, it's in a way a science, and we believe if we have a consistent application, what we call our common DNA of our leadership principles around the world, this is a significant multiplier of our thought of what does it mean to be a great place to work.
Thomas, the world's complicated, just getting more complicated. We've got to do all these things in our business, and we have to take care of the planet too.
Yeah.
And I know there's some initiatives that are underway. I think this is where Europe is leading the way in terms of an expectation for your whole supply chain, in terms of its impact on the earth. What do you see, and what are you expecting in terms of, number one, the size of your supply chain, share some data there, and then the work that you're likely to be doing to provide some leadership there and some expectation in terms of their impact on the planet?
Right. I mean, we heard it from Doe around ESG, and this is not something of corporate social responsibility or social niceties, but it's an investment necessity. Either you are in the ESG team or you are not a company to invest in anymore. And more investment funds took the decision to actually only invest into companies committing to the Paris Climate Accord, committing to science-based targets, and that's what we do as well. It's tough. Just to give you an order of magnitude, we and our business is moving stuff around, so that means somehow also emitting carbon. We emit as much carbon as Switzerland or Denmark in a year. So not fortunately like the US, but still it's sizable countries. And we say until 2030, we want to decarbonize the portion of Croatia. So just imagine you take Croatia from the carbon landscape of the world. That's our ambition until 2030, to be in line with the zero commitment until 2050. It's a long way to go. And of course, that's nothing we can do on our own. We need partners, technology needs to involve. But I think it is like being with Great Place to Work. Companies like ours who need to raise the bar, who need to elevate and accelerate the process, because if you don't have pioneers who can afford it and who take the commitment and take the lead, nothing will happen. And fortunately, what we have seen when we published our aspiration, like all the big other ones joined in, and that creates a movement like Great Place to Work for All created a movement.
Yep. By the way, Thank you. We'd be willing to help your entire supply chain become a great place to work, by the way. Just to help out. So, John Pearson, the CEO of DHL Express, couldn't be with us, but we have a video if we could cue up.
Yes.
Let's see.
Hi there everyone, John Pearson, CEO of DHL Express, and an amazingly proud CEO I am to win the #1 world's best workplace. Thank you, Michael Bush. Thank you for everything your organization does in pushing us all to be better. Our theme in DHL Express was good to great, and when I took over, we'd reached some level of greatness, and I say that modestly, but my job with the team I work with now is how to make a great company better. And one of the ways in which we can do that is manifestly enshrined in the Great Place to Work ethos. I love the phrase, I love the concept of Great Place to Work, because that's how I expect to see two people in a coffee shop talking to each other. Where do you work? I work at DHL. How is it? It's a great place to work. It's as simple as that. And people are honest, and if we are a great place to work, people will tell us that. So I'm seriously proud of this award and how we've made our journey from 8 to 6 to 4 to 2 to 1, and I'd have rather done it that way, quite frankly, because I think that has an element of authenticity to it. What do I call it internally? I say this is an award for all, won by all. This is not, absolutely not, a senior leadership high-fiving exercise. Absolutely not. Our people won this award, our employees won this award, and it's for them, and it's won by them, and that's how we celebrate it, and that's how we make sure we maintain it and maintain our standards and have more countries and more employees benefiting as a result. We say in DHL Express that our people are at the center of everything we do, the middle of the dartboard, so to speak, and the next circle, for those of you that may know darts, is 25 points, our customer. And our customer will get everything they ever need and want if our people are at the center of everything we do. And Great Place to Work helps us achieve that. I know that every day that goes by and every year that goes by, we become a better place to work. Qualitatively or quantitatively, I don't mind. Empirically, Great Place to Work tells us that statistically, we're getting better and better and better. And that is a never-ending journey as times change. There is so much that we can be proud of. I want to say also, congratulations, thank you, and how much respect I have for all organizations that are listening to this today, because you're on the same journey as us, and you're doing things for your employees that make them have more trust in your organization. And trust is the platform for love, trust is the platform for how people think of the organization they work for, and as I also say, the best weapon in the war for talent is to retain your people. You've got to plug the leaking bucket, and that would be my advice in the sense of having authenticity about the people in your teams and building leaders that display that authenticity. And it's very easy to see people that pay lip service to the whole topic of trust and leadership and people. And that is what I look for in my leaders, people that love other human beings and love being at work and love helping people make themselves better and make themselves enjoy their day at work. And if we can make people leave the office at the end of the day or at the end of the night, in case of the night shift, happy and relaxed and feeling like they've had a good day, they in turn will be better people at home with their families or their communities, which is extremely important to me. So thank you very much. Have a great event. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I'm absolutely there with you in spirit. Thank you.
Congratulations. Please, a warm congratulations and thank you to Thomas and Foz for spending our time today. Thank you.
Thank you.